welcome at the next episode of Polish Plate. My name is Bartosz and I will take you for the nice journey through the best Polish recipes. For this episode I prepare one of the oldest cake, you know, maybe as a gingerbread. In Poland we call it piernik. And the next recipe for today, it will be the cart in delicacies. To prepare gingerbread you need few ingredients. The first one is flour. I'm gonna use some baking soda. And the next one is gingerbread spice. It contains cinnamon, nutmeg, black pepper, some ground coriander, and it's just amazing. The next one is cacao, very similar in the color like seasoning, but this will give us very beautiful color, dark color. In the end, we've got an egg, sugar powder, the most important ingredient here, honey, some milk and butter.
The recipe for a Polish gingerbread may seem complicated, but if you will go through instructions, you will easily make one of the oldest Polish desserts. You will need half a kilogram of flour, 250 grams of honey, 200 grams of sugar, 125 grams of butter, 2 eggs, 10 grams of baking soda, 75 millimeters of warm milk, 25 grams of special gingerbread spice mix, a pinch of salt, 360 grams of plum jam.
The first step is to combine fat, honey and some milk in a pot. We're gonna melt it down, we're gonna add some spices to it so the aroma can develop more in the dough. So let's start it. Small fire on the stove. We start with the milk. The next one will be butter and honey. And we want to melt it down completely to mix it together. The gingerbread is one of the oldest recipes for the cake in Poland. In the medieval time, it was luxury to have it at your home because it contained quite a big amount of honey and very oriental spices. The mixture is melted. Now I can add the rest of ingredients. I'm starting with icing sugar, cacao powder, and gingerbread seasoning. Now mix it good together. The mixture is ready. Now we have to cool it down completely before we're gonna add some egg, baking soda and flour. The mixture cooled down completely. Now we can prepare our dough. So I will remove everything, transfer to a bowl, and we can add the rest of the ingredients. Whole egg, baking soda, and give it a good mix. The mixture is very runny, but that's the secret of this dough. Now we're gonna add some flour. So the dough is very runny for now, but we're gonna mature it. So the next process, very secret process for me, is to mature the dough outside. We're gonna store it in basement with a kitchen cloth on top of it, and we're gonna let it sit for minimum 2 weeks. The oldest gingerbread I know, I think, is like half-year recipe, so it can stay in cold temperature for very, very long time. I've got the dough which I prepared 3 weeks before. That's a very important step. You can immediately see the difference in the consistency. The towel always helps the moisture to go away, and that's the secret of good gingerbread. The next step is to roll out the dough. I will do it for around half centimeter thick, and as you see, the dough is still sticky, but not like in the beginning. Use a lot of flour. It will help you. As you see, I rolled it out. I trimmed the edges just for the size of our baking tray. Now it's time to transfer it very gently. The dough is quite runny, but don't worry, it will melt during the baking in the baking tray. And that's it. Now it's time for baking. I will make it in 175 degrees for around 20 minutes. 20 minutes is gone. I can already smell beautiful aroma straight from the oven. Amazing smell of fresh baked gingerbread. Now it's time to take it out. Just look at that, freshly baked gingerbread with a beautiful aroma of spices. As you can easily see, the dough doubled the volume, doesn't mean everything went correct. Now it's time to cool it down completely before we can spread it with some plum jam on top, and we're gonna put it together. So the gingerbread is ready, cool down completely. You can eat it like this straight away, but to make the cake, you should cut it. I will do it in 3 ways, more or less like this. You can see beautiful baked interior, and now we're gonna spread it with some plum jam. You're gonna put it together just like that. Just trim the edges so I'm sure everything fits perfectly. And now some classic jam. You want to be sure every edge, every side. Got it. And the top part of the cake, I keep it empty because we're gonna do some decoration later on. 1, 2, and 3 on top. Now it's time to wrap it in plastic foil and let it sit for 1 day. Wrap it tightly so all the flavors can combine together, and the gingerbread itself will take some moisture from the jam, so it will be much softer in the few days after. Like this, you can keep it in your fridge up to 5 days before you decide to make any decoration or before you eat it. Gingerbread is setting in the fridge. We have time to prepare chocolate glaze. For this we need butter and dark chocolate. So the next step is to melt butter. I will heat it up around 60-70 degrees, and then I will drop the chocolate inside and whisk it together. Keep mixing until the chocolate will melt, and before you can glaze the cake, you should cool it down for around 30-35 degrees. Looks perfectly smooth. Doesn't mean all chocolate is perfectly melted. We can put it on the side to cool down. So the chocolate glaze is ready. Get the thickness, like this one is almost perfect. And the gingerbread is set in the fridge. So now we're gonna make a decoration. As you can see, the layers are well combined together. I will transfer the cake for the separate board. I'm using small palette knife to spread it all around. Start with the top, go to the front and the end, and then to the sides. Now it's time to add some toppings. I have some almond flakes. Just sprinkle it all over. And some chopped walnuts. And that's it. Traditional cake straight from Poland. The classic gingerbread, we call it piernik. Delicious, very deep taste from the spices. I think it's one of my favorite cake. The next dish for today is combination sweet and savory. We're gonna prepare carp in delicacies. That's traditional recipe combine Polish and Jewish cuisine. That's why we're gonna have this ingredient. Our main ingredient for today is carp fillet. You can use steak or even whole carp for this recipe. It's up to you. I prefer fillet because later on I will give you a small tip how to make it almost boneless. The next one will be the onion. That's the body of the dish. We're gonna caramelize it with some fresh butter. We're gonna use few cloves to have nice, sweet, aromatic taste in there. We're gonna use some fish stock to make a sauce. And to finish it, we're gonna add some raisins and almonds.
Carp with delicious or with dried fruits and nuts is a typical Polish Jewish dish. Its taste is unique and the preparation is very simple. So to make it, you will only need carp fillet, onion, 20 grams of butter, 200 millimeters of fish stock, 2 cloves, 25 grams of raisins, the same amount of flaked almonds, lemon juice, salt and pepper, and parsley for garnishing.
I will start with the onion. I want to cut it through 4 slices. Now it's time to heat up the pan and caramelize it with some butter. You wanna saute it together with pinch of salt. We don't wanna put too much color because we're gonna have some raisins and some parsley leaves, and the sauce should be quite light in color. The onion is soft. We can add few cloves for beautiful sweet aroma. And now I will add the stock. Let it cook for a while and now we can prepare our fish. To make it almost boneless, we need to cut the meat to the skin. You can hear it. The bones are getting cut through. That means in the end of the dish, the carp will be perfectly tender and almost without the bones. Now I will cut some portions. $40–50 grams per piece, more or less, like this one. So normally I would add seasoning right now to the fish, like salt and pepper, but I'm using stock which was seasoned already before. So we're gonna adjust the taste in the end of the dish. And now it's time to add fish to the pan. Lay it down straight on the onion. And the last step is to cover the pan. If you don't have a lid, you can make simply cartouche to cover the pan. All you need to do is fold the paper in half and then the other half, and keep going like this until you get very sharp triangle shape like that one. Now you can aim the point to the middle of the pan and with your finger hold the end of the cartouche. And simply ready like that. Now you have to simmer it around 20 minutes on low heat. 20 minutes is done. I think the fish should be well cooked. Gently remove cartouche or lid. And now we can take out the fish straight to the plate. But remember to put it mid-side up. I can already feel it in my fingers. It's so tender and so delicate. It's just amazing. So we have some small pieces in here of cloth. You can take them out. The sauce is well reduced. We're gonna add now some raisins and some almonds. And in the end, we're gonna season it to taste. You have to check the liquid level. If it's not enough, you can always add some more stock or even water. So we're gonna wait for a few minutes until the ingredients combine together and mix the taste on the pan. And we're gonna create more thick sauce for our fish. And meanwhile, I will chop some fresh parsley. The sauce is well reduced. I can see the right consistency. Now it's time to try it. And I will add some more seasoning to it. And that's it. We can serve it right away. I have beautiful thick sauce with rich flavor from raisins, from almonds. Very classic combination and traditional dish in Poland, especially in the Christmas time. To make a difference on Christmas table, we make it that way. Fresh parsley. And that's it. We've got beautiful carp with some amazing sauce, rich in flavor. We've got cake, very traditional and classic gingerbread. And for the end, I have small surprise. We're gonna make dry fruit compote. As I promised, I've got extra recipe for you. This one will be dry fruit compote. And the compote is one of the 12-course menu which we have on Christmas Eve table. For this classic recipe, we use dry and smoked fruits. I've got some dry apple, non-smoked, and some smoked pear. The cranberry, prawns, apricots, some spices. We got clove and cinnamon stick. As an extra to refresh the taste, I will add some orange and lemon juice. That's a very simple recipe. All you have to do is just place all the ingredients inside the pot and let it simmer for minimum 30 minutes. For better quality of compote, I recommend you to soak fruits overnight for minimum 12 hours, and after that you simmer it for 30 minutes.
In every home, Christmas Eve compote is made in a little different way. However, dried and smoked fruits are always used, and it's always good to prepare it at least 12 hours before serving. To make the Bartek family recipe for compote, you will need 100 grams of dried apples and the same amount of smoked pears, 50 grams of smoked apples, the same amount of dried cranberries, 80 grams of dried apricots and plums, 7 cloves, cinnamon stick and the juice of 1 orange.
30 minutes of simmering is done. I can already smell a very beautiful, smoky and sweet aroma, but it's not the finish. We're gonna add some spices. Cinnamon stick and a few cloves for better taste. And as last, some juice of orange and lemon. All the rest of ingredients is inside. Now we have to simmer it more 10 minutes and then it's ready to serve. You can drink it hot or cold, it's up to you. Dry fruits compote is ready. Very nice, cloudy, with some brownish color inside. And that's typical drink for Christmas Eve when we got 12-course menu on the Polish table. That's it for today. We've got a beautiful cake called piernik. We had a beautiful dish with the carp and delicacies. And for the end we have dry fruits compote that help you to digest everything we prepare today. I hope you like this recipe and see you soon at Polish Plate.